Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time on a Monday night. Hope your week got off to a fantastic start. Hope you're enjoying the Nashville Predators game right now. I certainly know that I am. I'm keeping tabs on Pekka Rinne, what could be his last start. But in the meantime, I thought I'd jump in here during one of the first intermissions and basically try and catch up on all of the crap that's happened with Tim Tebow today and why it basically shows why Urban Meyer has no place in the NFL. That's what we'll spend our time on briefly tonight, so we'll get you back in time for the Nashville Predators game. We want to make sure that we're keeping tabs on that for you. Of course, we'll talk about a little bit of a snake oil salesman. That is Urban Meyer and something the Colts did today to upgrade their offensive line. Before we get to all of the good content, because you'll hear from me and Rappaport and the aforementioned Urban Meyer over the course of tonight's show, before we get to the good stuff, you got to share this show wherever it is that you are watching with us. If you're with us on Twitter or Periscope, you can go ahead and retweet the show in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. It's quite simple. I've already done it myself. Go ahead and retweet the broadcast if you would be so kind. Urban Slander, call me intrigued, says Buckethead. Well, like I said, Bucket, I'm going to try to get people in and out as quickly as humanly possible tonight because we're all watching the Preds game. We all want to see what happens with Pekka Rinne, and right now, they're up 2-0, so that's a good thing so far. But the Preds are known for blowing 3-goal leads at this point, so I don't want to give them too much credit against Carolina. Anyway, so share this show on Facebook Live, share it on Periscope if you would be so kind. If you're with us on Facebook Live, it's in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. You share now to public. That's how the people get involved on Facebook Live. YouTube, Twitch, just share the show. It's real simple, and that's how you can get the people going that way. And now that more of you are here, we can go ahead and begin the show officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time on a Monday. I'm your host, Buck Rising, and I'm proud, as always, to be presented to you by Two Rivers Ford, the name that you know, the brand that you trust. For nearly 40 years, since 1983, Two Rivers Ford has been providing award-winning customer service and fantastic American-made Ford vehicles. Two Rivers Ford is where you go in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app and the official partner of the UFC. I'll tell you more about how you can make $100 this weekend on a UFC bout using the promo code A2Z Sports in your DraftKings Sportsbook app. Gary Ashton and the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage at GaryAshton.com. That's where you go. Your dream address without the stress. Don't sell without the intel. That's what the Ashton team tells to you, the official real estate agent of the Preds, who I've got on in the office tonight, of the Tennessee Titans, and of A to Z Sports Prime Time at GaryAshton.com. And of course, Brymak Mechanical, Brymak, Brymak.com, satisfaction guaranteed on each and every one of your HVAC needs. They signed Tebow to fill seats, says Brian Spivey. Maybe if this was 2013, 2014, I'd consider that idea, Brian, but I really think the Jags are past that point. Like, they don't need to fill seats. They've got Trevor Lawrence. They've got the number one overall pick in the draft. I don't think it's that deep for Jacksonville, but the Tebow thing is asinine for any number of reasons. So that's what we're going to spend our time on tonight. Because Ian Rappaport reported today, and there were some talks a couple of weeks ago, a couple of reports from Adam Schefter and Rap Sheet saying that Tebow was working out for Urban Meyer, but at tight end, which is probably the position he should have gone into the draft with. But yet Tebow, 8 years removed from an NFL field, that's the last time that he's seen regular season action, is making a comeback to the NFL in a way that's just so incredibly stupid to me. So what we're going to spend some time on tonight, and what I want to get your Two Rivers Ford take on here in the comment section, what is the funniest part of the, we'll have to say, reported Tim Tebow signing? Excuse me, I got something in my throat. Goodness. That never happens here on the Primetime Show. What is the funniest part of the Tim Tebow signing, reported signing, with the Jacksonville Jags? Let me know on Facebook Live, on Periscope, on YouTube, and on Twitch TV. Turns out they beat the Tennessee Titans to the tight end market, Now they have Tebow on the roster. Now it's crazy to imagine that he would make even training camp, really. I mean, it's just such a stretch. But we'll talk about why. I mean, I wrote about this for the website today. It works immediately in the Titans' favor, and I'll explain more about that. But first, I want your Two Rivers Ford take. What is the funniest part of the Tim Tebow signing, reportedly with Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jags? While you guys do that, I'll tell you about Two Rivers Ford. Damn, the best in the business, the ones that you can trust, unlike my throat, who is being super uncooperative here tonight. Goodness, I hope we can make it through. I don't know what's going on back there, but Two Rivers Ford, I know what's going on out in Mount Juliet. I know that they're providing you exceptional customer service. I know that they are going to put you in a vehicle that suits each and every one of your needs. The new 2021 Ford Bronco, the F-150, the Mach-E electric Mustang. Two Rivers Ford is the spot out in Mount Juliet, just 7 miles east of the airport, or online at tworiversford.com. Signed Delaney. Can't beat a pass catcher with that skill, says Mark Dalton. Perhaps. Hope you're okay, says Puka. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with me tonight. Maybe I'm just talking. I'm talking too much. He's going to be rusty. He hasn't played since he was on the Broncos. That's what I'm saying. It has been 8 years since Tebow was in the NFL, mind you, at a completely different position. It is so crazy, the idea that just because he knows Urban Meyer, this is all it takes to get a job in the league. And I know that nobody wants to get in all of the things that were Colin Kaepernick, but something like this, I mean, it just flies in the face of all of the talk that we spent years on at that point with why can't Colin Kaepernick get back in the league? And I understand that Tebow's playing tight end. Josh Medina says Rashaan Evans will struggle to stay with him. But this is the kind of thing we're talking about where it's we can all point and laugh at the Jaguars together, but also it's so awful. The idea that Tim Tebow would just be able to walk into a workout 8 years removed from the NFL, and because he won a couple of championships, and listen, they were great together at Florida. Nobody is trying to deny what Tim Tebow and Urban Meyer were in like 2005, 6, 7, and 8 when they were winning multiple national championships. When Tebow won the Heisman, they were incredible. They revolutionized college football at that point, the way that college offense was done. But what Benji, or is it Ben J, and a bunch of numbers afterwards. So if you have more than 6 numbers after your name, Ben, I'm going to assume that you're a bot. But I've seen Ben enough that I know he's not. I'm just having some fun with him. Will this not take the microscope off Trevor Lawrence, is what Ben is saying here tonight. Is that a bad thing? No, I'll explain why it's a bad thing, because it's the exact opposite. And I'll explain what that is here in just a second, right after Rap Sheet fills you in on the details.
Ian, it seems as though we have another Tebow update.
Yeah, we certainly do. My understanding is that Tim Tebow is expected to sign with the Jacksonville Jaguars and his former college coach, Urban Meyer. This, according to me and my colleague, Tom Pelissero, right there. Nothing is done yet, but this is expected to be official in the next week or so. So Tim Tebow, who actually has had a couple of different workouts with the Jacksonville Jaguars, just some opportunities to show Urban Meyer and the rest of the Jaguar staff that he can make the transition from quarterback to tight end, his new position. Certainly something where he has allowed the staff to be comfortable with him, the kind of player he could be, the work ethic obviously he has, and has such a close relationship with Urban Meyer, Tom. This makes a lot of sense. It's expected to be a one-year deal where Tebow will have the chance to make the team, to make an impression, and we will see where this goes for here. But yes, in the next few days, in the coming days, Tebow expected to be back in the NFL.
And Ian, let's make this very clear. Tim Tebow is a long shot coming in to even make the Jacksonville Jaguars roster. He is 33 years old. He has not played in an NFL regular season game since 2012. That's 9 years ago. and he is now changing positions from quarterback to tight end, which is a transition that a lot of teams are interested in Tebow making, let's say a decade or so ago. If anybody, though, would believe in Tim Tebow and believe that they can carve out some kind of role for him, it would probably be Urban Meyer, who, of course, molded Tebow into a Heisman Trophy winner, a two-time national champion, a first-round draft pick back at Florida. Patrick?
Yeah, you mentioned the time, and it's odd to look at pictures of Glenn Dorsey tackling Tim Tebow there. Kind of puts in perspective the length of time that has passed since he played in the NFL, but we'll see. A fair tryout, perhaps, for Tim Tebow.
The idea that Tim Tebow's even getting a tryout, like for the perspective that was just put in, the idea that Tim Tebow is, after 8 years, 2012, 9 years, the last time that Tebow's been in the league, it's insulting. Honestly, it's insulting to every other player who's ever played professional football. We point and laugh at somebody like Bernard Pollard, who is legitimately interested in making a comeback and probably will never get a sniff by an NFL team. Now, maybe it's not something that you should consider because Bernard Pollard is way up in age, but the idea that Tim Tebow can walk in and get a contract just because he knows Urban Meyer it's not even funny. Like, it honestly just pisses me off. Delaney Walker is only 3 years older than Tebow, says Kyle Severin. 9 years removed from the NFL. If I'm Colin Kaepernick, man, I'm opening my suit back up against the NFL. And it's just so disgusting. But it's so on brand for the Jags. It is so just target emoji time after time after time, because what they've created for themselves is a complete and utter disaster if he indeed makes the roster come training camp. And I'll explain what that is here in just a second on A to Z Sports Prime Time from the DraftKings Sportsbook studios, right after I tell you about DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. I don't know what the odds. Watch. You can put odds, I bet, at some point. I'm going to see if DraftKings can't get this done on Tim Tebow to win comeback player of the year in the NFL. I bet Vegas will have something on it, which, again, just infuriates me. But what does not infuriate me is the ability to win money in the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Big names are headlining this weekend's UFC 262 card, from Nate Diaz to the local boy, Michael Chandler. There will be no shortage of action. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC, has a heavyweight offer for this weekend's fight with 100-1 odds. One fighter will be walking away with the belt. Will you, the question is, be walking away with the cash? There's no better way to put your MMA knowledge to the test than to put your money where your mouth is with DraftKings Sportsbook. So download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the promo code A2Z Sports when you sign up to turn $1 into $100 when you bet on a main card fighter to win. Place your bet and watch the fists fly this weekend. That's code A2Z Sports to turn $1 into $100 on select main card fighters for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You must be 21 or older. Tennessee only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789. Tim Tebow, man, I can't get over the idea that this is something that's going to go down, something that's for real, something that's actually happening in the 2021 NFL. Like a Mike Tyson comeback fight, says West Resha. I mean, honestly, this is basically, it's as big an atrocity. It's as big an atrocity as Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather being an actual boxing fight that you can pay for. Like, this is a laughing stock to me. It's an absolute laughing stock to me. Just to have a professional like this to mentor your virgin QB, says Brian Davis. Brian, he's playing tight end. He wasn't a quarterback when he was in football the first time. Trevor Lawrence is so far superior to Tim Tebow as a quarterback at any point in his career. Tim Tebow is one of the worst quarterbacks to ever start a professional football game. Like, purely, and I know he won a playoff game, and I know that there was the kneeling in the end zone and that it was some kind of divine intervention that Tim Tebow ever had a shot in the league, to be completely honest with you. And at some point, he probably could have played tight end 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we're talking about. This is a laughing stock. It is a joke. It is a clown show by any stretch of the imagination. And to call it anything else is just denying what the hell Tim Tebow is. A former quarterback who did have a streak of success in the NFL and then washed out very, very quickly. A former minor league baseball player that never made it up to the majors. And now at 33 years old, Tim Tebow is getting another NFL job for what? Because he knows somebody. We just saw Urban Meyer do this with the racist strength coach from Iowa that he hired because he knew him for 20 years. And I understand that one is a moral thing and one is a nepotism thing. I'm not trying to conflate the two issues without question, but it's the same principle. Urban Meyer knew that dude for 20 years and said, yeah, come on and be my strength coach in the NFL. I know the guy. It'll be fine. And then everybody looked around at him like, Urban, what the hell are you talking about? This is not Columbus, Ohio, where you can wave your hand like wave your magic football wand and everybody does your bidding. No, this is the professionals. This is the top of the sport. This is why Urban Meyer is not cut out for this job, because he's doing stuff that a college coach would do. And not only is he doing stuff that a college coach would do, he's doing things without thinking about what the possible repercussions of them could be, because every other player in that locker room is looking around and saying, what the hell is Tim Tebow doing here? If Tim Tebow makes the roster over somebody who's more qualified, what is the conversation going to be had at that point? Awful at this point. Brad Lifford says, Pred scored, so they're up 3-0 right now. See, for whatever reason, my Comcast, so I hope that everything's fine with the internet. Everything seems to be working fine on the primetime show, but something happened during the first intermission, so I don't have the game on in the office anymore, but keep tabs on it for me. Tim, just go ahead and return to SEC now and let the young guys take over. That's what I'm saying, Stacy. C. Smith agrees. He had a good gig for the SEC network. Why leave that? Because Tim Tebow thinks that he can do whatever he wants. And I mean, he can. Tim Tebow is famous enough that people will allow. There will always be a television job for Tim Tebow if he wants it. Like they came here once for SEC Now and like the whole week of SEC shows because Georgia was playing Vanderbilt. I'm pretty sure, and for whatever reason, that was the SEC's game of the week. So Tim Tebow was here, and it's the first time that I've been around Tebow, and still the masses of humanity that follow that dude around on Vandy's campus. There's precious little connection to Tim Tebow, and yet still college-age kids younger than me. This was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. Just flocked to who Tim Tebow is. He's always going to have a place on television. Chad says haters going to hate. No, I'm not going to. I don't hate Tim Tebow. This is just stupid. It's not about hating Tim Tebow. It's about this making zero football sense. This reminds me of when Dick brought Doug Flutie to the Bears in '86. As a Titans fan, says John Tenorio, I love this clown show. I mean, it's definitely a clown show. It's a Hall of Fame embarrassment. Verbal on Facebook says Tebow is just a hall monitor. Whatever he is, he shouldn't be there, man. I don't care about Tim Tebow, and none of those players in that locker room are gonna either. Yeah, for kids, these are adults who are professionals. I don't think they need or will get down with a rah-rah coach. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the whole Urban experience is just dumb. How the F is somebody hating on Tebow, says Ronnie Sneed. Who's hating on Tebow? I'm not hating on Tebow. I'm hating on the idea of Tim Tebow in the league at 33 when he was not a good professional football player to begin with. He was so far below average. Like this is not up for debate. This is not an opinion. This is fact. Tim Tebow was a bad quarterback. And now he's coming in at 33. That's Blaine Bishop, my teammate at 104.5 The Zone. Titans, Oilers, great. Played for the Eagles for a little while as well. Blaine Bishop's career ended at 33. It's totally insane. Someone just said it in the comments, man. Says Ronnie. I don't hate Tim Tebow. I'm just saying that he's not a good football player. This is how you sell ticks to Gators and Jags fans, says Jarrett. Like I said, if this was like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe but like the Jags aren't this bad. It's just so stupid. So stupid. Let's talk about Urban Meyer quickly because I want to get you guys back in time for the rest of the Preds game tonight, and I appreciate you hanging with me. Urban trying to get urbanized. This is Don Modell. Yeah, so let's talk about Urban. How many years in the NFL will Urban Meyer last? How many years will Urban Meyer last in the NFL? That's the question that I'm asking you guys on Facebook Live, on Periscope, on YouTube, and on Twitch. Let me know in the comment section on all four of the platforms. We would appreciate your participation here on A to Z Sports Prime Time. How many years will Urban Meyer last in the NFL? Let's talk about it here on the Prime Time Show. While you guys weigh in with your number of years, I will tell you about my friends at Brymak Mechanical, BRYMAK, Brymak.com. Satisfaction guaranteed on each and every one of your HVAC needs. They will put you in your comfort zone, which is all that you can ask. Those seasons are beginning to change. You want to make sure that you're in a good spot. Brymak Mechanical, BRYMAK, Brymak.com. That's where you go. So how many years will Urban Meyer last, whether it's in the AFC South in general, or, I mean, maybe if he does well enough with the Jags, he goes on to another team. Who knows? Ronnie Sneed says he won't be there long. Callan says one and done. Freddie Foth, really putting his faith in Urban Meyer in a way that surprises me, to be honest with you. 5 years for Teddy on Facebook Live. 2.5 for Jeff Charles. Todd goes 2. Puka says 2 and a heart issue shows up. What if it actually works, says Sawyer? Then I'll look like an idiot, but that's okay. Because I don't think it will. There's plenty of reasons to think it won't. I'm very comfortable. I'm totally fine with the idea that I'm putting myself out there and saying this Urban Meyer thing is going to fall flat on its face. Less than 3 years, just like Spurrier, says Ronnie. Totally going to love watching the clown show known as the Jags, says JMO. Bad QB, 8 to 6. I've seen 8 and 6. I've seen worse. He was mediocre, but he played with guts. Urban, is Brian making the argument for Tim Tebow? He was mediocre, but he played with guts. Yeah, I don't give a shit about guts. I mean, I do to a degree, but I need a better quarterback. I need somebody who throw the football. Tim Tebow couldn't do that. Tim Tebow was a fullback playing quarterback, Brian. So I love the sentiment, but like guts and guts and grit and all this stupid crap. He's not Rudy. He's an NFL player, or he's supposed to be. Rudy couldn't make the team at Notre Dame. Everybody forgets that. Yeah, he got on the field, but he didn't make the team. You know why? Because he had guts and grit and all this stupid meathead crap that everybody cites, but he wasn't talented. Tim Tebow's not talented. He shouldn't be on the NFL field. Oh, my God. It made my head explode today when I saw the news. Michael Burgett says, I'm just waiting for Urban to show up on AEW for an upcoming Wednesday. Yeah, that would be a treat. His ego is the reason why he wouldn't switch positions, says Rodney Sneed. Yeah, and his ego makes him think he can still be an NFL football player. So Godspeed, Timmy. Abdul says 4 years. Chris Frazier says 4. Seth Clark says, I'm in talks to sign with the Jags as a wide receiver, and I haven't played since 2003. Mariota can't really throw, just like I believe Lamar Jackson is very inaccurate, says Jay Streets. It's a totally different kind of accuracy. Tim Tebow could not do what Marcus Mariota or what Lamar Jackson could. He's just not even close, Jay. What are you talking about? Brian Davis says, Rudy, love that. Perfect way to say it. We need a Rudy. Yeah, okay, you can have a Rudy, but he can't play because Rudy's not good. That's why Rudy's on the bench. That's why he's Rudy. Oh my God. The concept of this is so mind-boggling to me. I can't wrap my head around that this is an actual story. But it's a circus. Snake Oil is the title of this segment because I think Urban Meyer's got 2 years tops. I really do. He's going to lose a lot more than he expects to. He's going to get hammered for stuff like this Tebow thing. He's going to look completely out of touch with things like free agency, where he's talking about he doesn't like the way that the NFL does business. Too bad, Urban. The NFL does billions of dollars worth of business. It's not going to change just because you want it to.
And one more, if I can, back to signing guys. I mean, you're not used to signing guys that you haven't met with. Obviously, in recruiting, you meet with those guys. So how much, I don't know if anxiety is the right word, but maybe trepidation or how much is that an issue with you at this point?
Yeah, that was awful. I don't agree with it, but no one asked my opinion. I guess the old days you could bring them in and meet them, have dinner with them, and find out the football intellect, find out the character, find out that. So we had to do, the thing I found out is call someone who has a skin in the game, because they're going to not quite be, I don't see, honest isn't the appropriate word, but so we did a deep dive. Every guy that we signed, we did. I have Ryan Stamper and Marcus Pallard. I call those guys our assessment guys. They did as much deep dive as we could. The ones like Malcolm that Charlie Strong recruited and knew, we were good. Roy Roberts, we did a deep dive into him, and it came back extremely positive. So that was, to answer your question, that was awful. That I don't believe it should be that way. Not when you're making organizational decisions. I'm not sure how that rule came about, but that's, that to me, that's not good business.
Don Modell says he looks high as hell talking about Urban Meyer. At least he's being transparent. He's got to be real because he's around grown men. Sawyer, has anything about the tenure of Urban Meyer struck you as genuine and authentic? This dude had murderers in his huddle talking about Aaron Hernandez. And yes, I understand he didn't murder people till he got to the Patriots. But Tim Tebow was just there to cover up all the terrible things that Urban Meyer was comfortable covering up. Urban is aging big time, says Callan. Dustin says Buck is just a hater. Yes, I hate everything about this. Have you ever watched Rudy? Says Aaron Goff. Yeah, it doesn't hold up. It's not a good movie. Also, Hoosiers, and I'm from Indiana. Hoosiers stinks. So I will go to war against those two movies. Deep dive, except on the strength and conditioning coach, says Kyle Severn. That's what I'm saying. Like, how fraudulent could you possibly be? There was stuff at Florida, says Puka. Yeah, there was all kinds of stuff throughout the course of that with almost all of the players on the roster. And Urban Meyer was comfortable, getting to know the football intellect and nothing else, and letting things run wild. And then Tim Tebow was there to police it and put a little bit of, a religious veil over everything. By the way, I doubt a reminder even get to my prediction of 3 years, so you'll probably find so. JMO, that didn't make sense at all, that sentence, but it's okay. I maybe I just read it wrong. Sawyer says, bro, that's what the media wants to think. Lots of people thought Aaron was a good person. Watch I Am Athlete podcast, and all those guys had nothing good to say. What? Sawyer, are you I'm sorry, are you in here defending Aaron Hernandez? What? That can't possibly be something that I've just read in the chat. Sawyer, what the hell are you talking about? Aaron Hernandez was a murderer. What? So nothing but good things to say. What the hell do I care about that? He killed a guy. We can't seriously be having that conversation. Surely to God I'm being trolled. That somebody is in the comment section. Sawyer. What? So who's on the I Am Athlete podcast, right? That's Ocho Cinco. That's not Brandon Jacobs. Oh damn, Brandon Marshall. There's a handful of other players. What do I give a shit if they think he's a good guy? He killed somebody. I'm not saying he's a good person, but they did, says Sawyer. You just told me that you think he's a good person, and that's what media wants people to think, was that he wasn't? He killed people. Sawyer, what are we talking about here? Thank God for that, because that just woke me up in a way that I don't think I could take a cup of espresso and pour it into my eyeballs, and that would not bring out the amount of energy that had just evoked in me. What the hell did we just talk about? I need to take a second. I need to namaste. I need to do some meditations in my head to reevaluate. Sawyer, what? What did we do? What? I can't even begin with something that mind-bogglingly stupid because Brandon Marshall said he wasn't a bad guy. Great. Love to hear that. Fantastic. 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 Dom says he killed people. That's what I'm saying. Patrick McMurdy says his cellmate says he was a sweet soul, though. Yeah, I bet. This convo would go a lot smoother if it wasn't through text. No, I'm pretty sure it would go just as shitty. I'm pretty sure that it would go just as poorly, Sawyer. There's no way possible that you could say anything like that to me in person or via the chat and me not have a similar reaction to tell you, what the hell are you talking about? God almighty. Susan Solnick says, this is hysterical. Bucks faces. You deserve a raise for the last 3 minutes of faces. I will Venmo you $100 on those faces to make them every night. Susan, I don't think that could even remotely, I don't think I could ever get that organically emotional again. C. Smith says, Sawyer, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. No, I'm both. What? Preds just scored. Fantastic. What's the score? What's the score of the hockey team? The hockey team right now. What's going on? Are they up 4-0 at this point? The game went down in my office. I don't know what's happening with my cable. Somebody tell me what the score of the hockey team is before I lose my mind. Dear God, here on A to Z Sports Prime Time from the from DraftKings Sportsbook Studio, 3-0. Weren't they? I thought they scored a third goal. Anyway, let's move on. You know what? I don't even know how to go from the Aaron Hernandez to the Colts offensive line situation. Like, I don't think at this point anybody cares. All I'm going to tell you is that you should care about Gary Ashton and the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. At GaryAshton.com, the official real estate agent of the playoff-bound Preds, of the Tennessee Titans, and of an exasperated Buck Rising on A to Z Sports Prime Time. I've never gone third person in my life. I just did it there. Gary Ashton is the crew. The Ashton team is the crew that you should trust with all of your real estate needs. They are who got me through my search for my dream address without the stress. They can help you sell for more with all of the people trying to come in and purchase Nashville real estate. Gary Ashton and the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage at GaryAshton.com. It's 4-0 Preds. Okay, screen grab would be gold, says Susan. I get him in now, Susan, because I'm out of gas. That one threw me for a loop. It's been a fun show. Enjoy the rest of the hockey game. Pecorine night in full effect. 4-0 for the Nashville Predators. We'll talk about it on the radio show tomorrow. Lindsey Rowley will be there. We will also have Pat Dooley from the Gainesville Sun, because he covered Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow for their entire careers down there in Florida. We'll spend some time on that tomorrow from 10 to 1 on 104.5 The Zone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of the hockey. And I'll talk to you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Time or thereabouts here on A to Z Sports Prime Time. I almost forgot to hit the Mississippi Mass Choir. I'm that disoriented. Oh, what a time. I'm a little tired at this point. No!